Hey guys, my name is Diana. I am the owner and esthetician at Glow Labs located in Long Island, New York. I am a new business owner. This is all new to me. And so as a new business owner, I've been going around to local estheticians, local spas, local salons, and doing kind of some spying to see what they do, what the norm is, what people like in my neighborhood, what the prices are like. And while doing this, I've kind of seen some things that are a little worrisome. Don't mind my AirPods, they're now my microphone for this video. So there have been some things that are a little worrisome to me, and I realized that I have a trained eye because I went to school for this. I have a license, I have a lot of experience, and a lot of you may not have a trained eye for these things. So I thought I would make a video kind of explaining what to look out for either your first ever facial or your first facial in a new place, or even for your facial that you get regularly. So there are certain things that I've been seeing a lot of, and I made a list of 9 things. And these are the 9 things that kind of have been worrying me, things that I think you should be aware of, just to make sure you have a clean and sanitary experience when you go to get your facials. Number 1 is colored towels, sheets, or anything else that comes in contact with your skin that needs to be washed because it will be reused. So basically, I've been seeing a lot of this. So I've seen neon green, orange, I've heard some people have cheetah print. Anything that is touching bodily fluid, because everybody knows during extraction sometimes you bleed, and then you put a hot towel over that, and then you are just throwing it into the wash, and you're not bleaching or disinfecting because it's a colored towel or a colored sheet. You don't want to do that. You wanna be able to bleach and disinfect. If it is not a white towel or a white sheet, if it has any color whatsoever, chances are the owner and the esthetician is not bleaching this. If they're not bleaching it, if they're not using a disinfectant in their wash, those germs, that bacteria, that is staying in the towel. We are putting it back in the hot towel cabbie. It's getting nice and steamy and warm. So you're wrapping that towel, you're putting it in a moist, hot environment, and that bacteria is growing, and then you're taking that out, and you're putting it on a new client's face, and you're spreading that bacteria throughout your clientele. So you want to make sure you're disinfecting properly, and you can't do that unless your sheets are white. So that's number 1. Any sheet, towel, pillowcase, anything that touches you, make sure it's white. If it's not white, it's not disinfected properly. That's the truth of the matter. Number 2. So this is something that actually I had to suffer through because I didn't want to blow my cover as an esthetician, and I really was very nervous about it, and I thought I was going to get like a skin-eating bacteria or something, a flesh-eating bacteria. One of the estheticians that I went to, I obviously am not going to be naming names, she used the same towel, green towel, on me over and over again. And the way she would clean it and disinfect it between uses, she would take this bright green towel, she would plop it into the sink that's right next to her, that does not have any kind of... Well, first of all, disinfecting a sink, it's tough because there's so many, like, you have to disinfect the little thing on the bottom. You just don't want to be... So she would wash the towel in the sink, and then she would put it back on my face. And so this sink is a cesspool of bacteria and God knows what. She would rinse off whatever she just used on my face, and then she would put it back on my face. And it was pretty horrifying. And I realized that I'm sure other estheticians do this because it's so easy. I have a sink behind me too. It would be easy to just rinse off my towel and reuse it. But I'm not confident enough in my abilities to disinfect that sink entirely to be able to wash this towel. And how often are you going to be disinfecting the sink? Not realistic. You got to use a fresh towel. You can't rinse off the towel in the sink and then put it back on my face. Also, I don't know if she's disinfecting that sink. Some people think hot water will disinfect. No, don't do that. If your esthetician is doing that, don't do it. Just go away. Just run away. Run. Tell her no thank you. I'm an idiot. I could have gotten a flesh-eating bacteria, but I suffered through it because I'm too scared. I have too much social anxiety to say, please don't do that. Next thing, so this also has to do with sterilization. So if you do not see anywhere in the salon, it doesn't have to be directly in the room, even though it usually is, and it's most convenient for us when it is a sterilizer or disinfection fluid. So ideally, you want both. By most state laws, you need both. So you need an EPA disinfectant, which would be like barbicide or just 90 and up alcohol solution. So that kills bacteria, viruses, and fungal spores. That is the hardest thing to kill, which is why you need an EPA disinfectant. So anything that is reusable, any of those little, what are they called? The extractor tools, the loops that some estheticians use. I personally don't love those. They leave marks in your face. Anything like that, that you're going to be reusing, those need to be disinfected. Anything that is touching your face needs to be disinfected properly. So you want to look out for like a little, it looks like a little, usually white box. They open it up, it has a little tray. You drop your stuff in there, you drop it back down. That needs to stay in there for 15 minutes minimum to be disinfected. After that, you want to take it in the UV sterilizer. Also, before you do all that, you want to make sure they're washed down. So first I'm rinsing it off with soap, then I'm dropping in disinfectant fluid, then I'm putting it in my UV sterilizer. Only then will I allow this thing to touch my next client. If I haven't done all 3 steps, I'm not confident that all the bacteria, fungus, spores, whatever, is killed. So number four is product labels being turned away from you in a way that is very clearly intentional. If like 1 or 2 product labels are turned around, fine. It's not a big deal. It's an accident. You know, they've turned it around while they were using it. But I walked into a few spas where every single product on the shelf next to them has been turned away intentionally. As soon as the esthetician stepped out of the room, I obviously went to look at the products because I'd like to see what they're using. Every single product is turned away. Take a look at the product label. Oftentimes, from what I've noticed, is they are things that people are buying, estheticians that own their own little spas, are buying off of Amazon. I've Googled these products, and they are $5, $3 for a tub. So there is, for example, moisturizer, right? Moisturizer, turn it around, it's this massive tub. I Google it, only find it on Amazon, click on Amazon, massive tub, $10. Mineral oil, fragrance, God knows what are the ingredients. Ingredients are so important in skincare. And if your product, your tub of moisturizer that you're using on your clients is $5, $10, it's not quality. You go to an esthetician to get quality skincare, to get what you can't do at home. So if the products are turned away, there is a reason. Turn those products around, research them, look up the ingredients. There's a bunch of wonderful apps that you can use to look up ingredients. We as estheticians get such incredible deals for professional grade products. There is no reason besides just cutting corners. Why would we put things on you during your facial that you can easily be doing for yourself at home? So number 5 is also, so this one's kind of a weird one. Only because it could be a little offensive when it happens, and you just have to try to not be offended by it, because if your esthetician turns you away for this reason, that's good. You have an esthetician that cares about her clients. So this is one thing that your esthetician should 100% be turning you away for, and that is cold sores. If you have a cold sore, you want to make sure that it happens. You get a cold sore, you wake up with a cold sore, and you have a facial scheduled. Call in, let them know what the situation is. Even if an esthetician has a cancellation policy where she charges you, you tell them, you show them a picture, you come in, whatever. If you have a cold sore, they should not be doing a facial for you. So if your esthetician is turning you away because you have a cold sore, do not be offended, because with facials, with acids, with high frequency machines, with any kind of procedure or treatment done on the face, the herpes virus can actually like flare. It could become so much worse. So if you come in with a tiny cold sore and your esthetician doesn't notice, you should say something. You should ask, because you should be like, hey, I have a cold sore, or be honest, because The next thing I do can make your virus flare. Yes, I'm going to disinfect everything. I'm not even worried. Everything will be clean. I'll throw out what needs to be thrown out. I'm not angry by any means. I'm worried for you because the cold sore virus can spread. It can become so massive from any tool, machine, acid, even some cleansers can make it flare. You want to stay away from any kind of facial procedures. That goes for laser as well, waxing, everything. Because this virus is no joke. It's triggered like that, and it's all over your face. It's all over your body. It's a whole thing. You don't want it to happen. Just if you have a cold sore, call your esthetician. Tell her, stay home. Schedule it a week from now. It's not a big deal. And if your esthetician turns you away, do not be offended. It's for you. It's for everybody else. But mainly it's for you. Okay, so that was number 5, I believe. Okay, so number 6, if your esthetician asks about allergies and sensitivities. I went to quite a few facials where nobody asked me and they didn't have me fill out a form. So nobody knows if I'm allergic to something. It should be asked. It should be asked if I have sensitivities. Don't feel silly also saying, like, yes, I'm allergic to shellfish. You would think, like, oh, they're not going to be rubbing shrimp on my face. What do I care? It matters. It matters because there are seaweed facials. There are certain things that contain shellfish and you wouldn't even know it. And you wouldn't think about that. But it's very important for us to know all of your allergies. So don't feel silly saying the most ridiculous thing because what you think is ridiculous. So name any allergy you have. It is so important because you never know what our products contain. So if you're allergic to lobster, tell us. If you're allergic to cats, tell us. I have a cat. I could change my shirt for you. Yeah, that kind of thing. So if your esthetician doesn't ask about allergies, sensitivities, and you have an allergy or sensitivity, offer that information up. Don't feel weird. Don't feel silly. Let them know. If they forget, it happens, guys. We forget. We get so carried away. We have 12 clients in a row, however many clients in a row. 12 is a lot. Probably not 12. But we forget. It's somewhere in a form. We look at the forms. We skip over it. God forbid we miss it. Just let us know. We should be asking. If we're not asking, let us know. Especially if you are able to go into like anaphylactic shock. If you're allergic to something to that degree, tell us because we don't want that to happen. We don't want any kind of irritation. If you're sensitive to certain ingredients, tell us. That's important. If you know you're specifically sensitive or allergic to an ingredient or anything at all, let us know. It's important. It ensures that you stay safe, you get healthy skin when you're done with this, you don't have any welts or breakouts. Let us know. It works for the both of us. Number 7, disposable blades and needles. So most places use single-use blades and needles for extractions, for dermaplaning. You want to make sure they're throwing those things out, and you know if they're throwing it out or not if when they're about to use it on you, you hear the ripping of the paper, the opening up of they're supposed to be individually wrapped. If you hear it coming out of the sterilizer, or if you hear it coming out of the disinfecting fluid, don't let them use it on you. Anything that has to do with blood like that, like a blade or a needle, single use only. We are not allowed by law to be reusing that kind of thing. State laws are different, but I am almost positive all over the country you're not to be reusing needles or blades of any sort. Yeah, that sounds right. I don't think you're supposed to be in any state reusing blades or needles on many different clients. That's how you get HIV. That's how you get HIV. Like you want to be very careful. Single-use items have to stay single-use. Make sure you hear a ripping. Make sure you see a rip. Make sure you just see them taking it out of the little single wrapped packet. So look out for that. That is, I would say, one of the most important things to look out for. Number 8, I believe. Number 8. So number 8 is you do not want your esthetician to be doing such intense extractions on you that they're leaving nail marks in your face. I cannot even tell you the number of clients that have come in that have had a horrible experience and that are so scared of getting this facial because they think that they're going to have red marks on their face for the next week, that they're going to have nail marks on their face. And after I'm done with extractions and I get everything out, they're like, wow, that didn't hurt. Why didn't that hurt? And I'm like, it's not supposed to, it's not supposed to hurt. Whoever hurt you, I'm sorry. It's not supposed to hurt. If it hurts, I have what I call a 3-try rule personally. I try something 3 times, I try something once. If I see it, it's at the surface, I know I can get it. I try it once, doesn't come out, leave it alone, move on. Try it the second time, doesn't come out, leave it alone, move on. Third time, if nothing's coming out, as ready as it looks, it's not ready. I'm gonna send you home with acne patches. I'm gonna send you home with a recommendation for an exfoliating mask of some sort that will make sure this thing comes to the surface and pops on its own in the shower, or you would want it to come out into like a little acne patch, the hydrocolloidal patches. If you don't know what that is, I'm gonna link it down below in like an Amazon link. They're really cheap and amazing. Plop it on after the shower, pulls everything out. I get the same satisfaction. I see it on the little patch, and I don't have to pick at my face anymore. It has saved my face. I'm gonna link those. They're my favorite product. And I'm not getting anything for recommending it to you. It's just really amazing. So yeah, if I don't get something out by the 3rd try, I am leaving that alone. And that is one disclaimer I mention when I start doing extractions on somebody. I let them know that I'm going to take out everything I possibly can, and anything that is not ready, I'm not going to touch it, and neither are you. You're going to let it go, and it will come out on its own, or it will come out using a high frequency machine or a hydrocolloidal patch. Because if I keep going at something that is not ready, you're going to leave with nail marks, you're going to leave with a scab or a wound, and you're going to leave with hyperpigmentation, which is the one thing you don't want to do. The reason that we tell you not to pick is so that you don't do it the wrong way. And what's the point of telling you that if we're doing it the wrong way? Extractions are not supposed to hurt. They're not supposed to feel wonderful. They're not going to be the most comfortable thing. But they shouldn't be excruciatingly painful or really painful at all. And now number 9 is what every facial should close with, or should be talked about throughout the facial. So number 9 is routine, finding out about your at-home routine, and recommending anything if you do not have it in your routine. Every single esthetician should be asking about your routine at home. One, it's important for them to ask to make sure you are not using any prescription retinols or anything like that is thinning out the skin, because then we can't do a lot of things in the facial. We want to make sure that you are not using your acids the night before or the day of, since we are going to most likely be doing an exfoliation for you. And we also want to make sure that you're keeping up with your home care. You can't go to the gym once a month and then eat hoagies and Twinkies the rest of the week, the rest of the month. That's not how that works. You want to make sure you're keeping up with your at-home routine to get the best results of this facial that you've spent money on. Sometimes estheticians will recommend whatever they have on hand. So estheticians will carry brands that they believe in, brands that they like the ingredients of. And then I personally have no problem. I know some estheticians don't like to, but I have no problem recommending things that you can get online, that you can get at Sephora, that you can get at a whole bunch of different places. Like the acne patches, that is probably my number 1 recommendation. I say go on Amazon, get the hydrocolloidal patches. I don't get anything for that. But what I do get is a client with healthy skin, and that's my goal here. If your esthetician is not asking about your routine, if your esthetician is not recommending anything, I mean, listen, if you have a perfect routine and she tells you, wow, you have everything, she's not going to recommend anything, and that's fine. But if there's something that your esthetician is like, I really would like for you to either stop using this or for you to start using that, and if she recommends something, you want to listen. You want to be like, okay, I'll stop. So like St. Ives apricot scrub, I hear it a lot. I get a lot of clients that are using St. Ives apricot scrub. If you don't know why that's bad, I'll briefly explain it. It is, the little scrub particles are not uniform. They're kind of like little shards of glass that creates acne, that creates premature aging, micro tears. Stay far away from St. Ives apricot scrub. So that's something that when I hear, I'm like, please don't use that. how about I recommend a million other things to you for you to use? Here I have 12 things you can use here. There are 50 different things you can get on Sephora that you can use, that you could go to Ulta, Amazon, The Ordinary, whatever. Although I don't trust Amazon always because they do have counterfeit products. You're better off buying directly from the source. But if your price point is not what I can recommend to you from my products, I will 100% recommend something that you can buy yourself. And that's something that your esthetician should be doing. She should be asking about your routine, and she should be offering you recommendations. Again, if your esthetician is offering you recommendations, don't be offended. She's not trying to upsell you. She's not trying to waste your money. She is trying to make sure that this facial that she has done for you lasts, that you see results from this, and that you keep up with things at home and continue improving your skin on a daily basis. It's so important, and I'll do a whole other video about what everybody's daily skincare routine should have at the minimum. But yeah, that's something that your esthetician should be doing. So having said that, that's pretty much the things that I have personally been concerned about when I was getting facials. That's something that I think not a lot of people know to look out for. So here is this video. I hope you've enjoyed. I hope you feel a little bit more informed when you're going to get a facial. If they don't have disinfectant fluid, if they or sterilizer, and if they have colorful towels and sheets, I would recommend looking for another esthetician, looking for another spa. Like, there are things on this list that are they're excusable. It happens, and there are things that are just plain dangerous. So kind of figure out what you just be aware of your surroundings, your environment when you're going to get a facial. Don't blindly trust people. I have come to find out that not all estheticians follow the laws and rules that are given to us by our state board. So make sure you stay safe, enjoy your facials. I look forward to making more videos for you guys again. So subscribe, follow me on Instagram and Facebook. It is my spas page. I post a lot of information that it could be interesting to all you skincare lovers. And have a great day. Bye bye.